What if the boundaries you drafted to keep your enemy at arm's length are actually the blueprint for letting yourself be known, and the only rule that matters is the one you break when you stop performing independence and start practicing intimacy? In The Roommate Rules, Brighton Walsh delivers a hate-to-love small-town romance that transforms forced proximity into a masterclass in emotional unmasking, proving that in communities where everyone thinks they know your story, true connection requires rewriting the script you wrote to protect yourself from being seen. This isn't merely another grumpy sunshine setup with bickering intention. It's a tender, psychologically precise narrative where every shared wall feels like both violation and invitation. Consent is negotiated through daily acts of vulnerability rather than assumed compatibility, and love means choosing authenticity when resentment feels safer. From the first key-turn narration, listeners are immersed in a world where privacy is myth and presence is the only real shelter. Perfect for fans of character-driven small-town romance and stories where healing happens through friction rather than fantasy, this audiobook serves up sizzling banter, relentless emotional honesty, and protagonists whose journey from hostile cohabitants to devoted partners resonates with anyone who's ever mistaken defensiveness for strength. When event planner Jenna Hayes is forced to share her late grandmother's cottage with brooding carpenter Ben Calloway after a housing crisis hits Maple Creek, she expects domestic warfare, not to discover his quiet competence mirrors the stability she spent years chasing through perfectionism. But as Jenna navigates chore charts and buried insecurities, she realizes this arrangement isn't about endurance, it's about recalibration. Walsh masterfully avoids reducing Jenna to up-to-up stereotype or Ben to emotionally unavailable trope. Instead, she crafts a relationship rooted in radical reciprocity within constraint, where trust is earned through honoring boundaries even as they blur, and where intimacy emerges from seeing each other's mess without demanding cleanup. The audiobook narration amplifies this emotional alchemy, capturing Jenna's polished composure fracturing into genuine ease, and Ben's guarded intensity revealing warmth beneath stoic exterior. You don't just hear their bond ignite, you feel the seismic shift of two souls learning that home isn't found in solitude, but in the brave choice to be imperfect together. What elevates The Roommate Rules beyond typical hate-to-love fare is its nuanced portrayal of conflict as collaborative excavation rather than romantic obstacle. Jenna isn't merely tolerating Ben, she's confronting how small-town expectations taught her to equate worth with flawlessness, challenging the notion that safety requires performance. Ben doesn't soften her through charm, he creates space where her anxiety can exist without judgment, honoring her autonomy even as his own walls crumble. Their relationship evolves through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences during late-night kitchen encounters that bypass pretense, establishing house rules that protect both individuality and partnership, and defending each other from gossip-mongers who mistake tension for incompatibility. Supporting characters add vital texture, neighbors whose concern masks curiosity, friends whose loyalty tests new dynamics, even the cottage itself, rendered as living archive whose creaking floors absorb decades of unspoken longing. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In spaces built on familiarity, authenticity is rebellion, and presence is the only true foundation. Even the romance mechanics serve thematic depth, with chore negotiations mirroring emotional labor and shared meals becoming metaphors for nourishment beyond sustenance. For audiobook listeners, this production is pure auditory comfort with substance. The narrator embodies Jenna and Ben with remarkable distinction. Jenna's voice carries crisp intelligence laced with dawning softness, while Ben's low timbre trembles with suppressed tenderness beneath disciplined cadence, making their chemistry palpable even during arguments. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming intimacy. Distant floorboards marking temporal rhythm, rain against window panes during vulnerable confessions, the clink of mismatched mugs syncing with heartbeats during quiet exchanges, all anchor emotional stakes in sensory reality. Pacing mirrors the cadence of cohabitation, deliberate during adjustment and reflection, then accelerating as external pressures collide with internal breakthroughs. Whether you're commuting through urban chaos or unwinding in twilight solitude, the audiobook creates a portable sanctuary where slowness feels sacred and connection feels lifeline. It's storytelling as embodied validation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a love story that honors both resistance and surrender. Ultimately, The Roommate Rules redefine small-town hate-to-love romance by centering female agency within relational frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for satisfying chemistry and hopeful resolution, while delivering substantive commentary on perfectionism trauma, masculine vulnerability, and the radical act of building partnerships based on mutual recognition rather than rescue. No prior series knowledge is needed, it stands confidently as a complete emotional journey. If you've ever wondered whether love can thrive after hostility, or if true strength requires embracing discomfort, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful rule is simply allowing yourself to be seen. Press play, unlock the door, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by expectation, hearts still find ways to rewrite the terms. Your next favorite romance isn't waiting in perfect harmony. It's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to build something real from the friction.